Okay, so it's going to be a two-part video. Still having troubles doing videos, and this is why I never end up doing videos. It never has worked out for me. I really need to get set up for doing it. Wi-Fi, good camera, good computer, whatnot, even just good phone data, whatever. But I was talking about last year when I was searching the colleges and whatnot, and this one college online I clicked on. You basically had to agree with their beliefs and their statements and stuff. And just one of the things on there that would have stopped me right then was asked me if I believe that our 66 books was the only divine scriptures there are. And truthfully, I can't agree to that because I haven't read all the books. I've read the Maccabees, and honestly, I'd be cool if Maccabees was in our book. A lot of the New Testament books refer to them. A lot of that we know in the church today comes from Maccabees. That'd be something I should put on my plan this year. A lot of our non-canonical books that I've been wanting to read, I really hope to read them this year. Read back through Maccabees, and I know I've read Judith. I haven't read all of Wisdom. I like to finish that book. The Tobits, I haven't read those yet. There's a few books that I haven't read that I'd like to read. I would like to search into Enoch, or Enoch, however you want to pronounce it. Don't matter. In the process of trying to do these videos, I did talk to my wife, and I figure I should say this. I am not trying to say that anybody's necessarily trying to be a false teacher or be a false pastor. I'm not saying your pastor's teaching you falsely, okay? What I'm just saying is some of the things we get taught is the same things that got taught, and they get taught without really searching, is that right? And I don't know if it's just blind faith so much. Sometimes I do feel that people might want to preach the truth, but fear of people get up and walk out of the church. And if that is the case, then yes, that would be a false teacher. If someone does not want to preach the truth just for fear that their attendance will leave, that would be a false teacher. And I'm not just pointing my finger at any one person. I do believe that some of my faith, some of what I believe now, is probably false doctrine. Just because it's been handed down. And this is what I'm trying to get at. This video, like I say, is mostly an encouragement to read the Bible through and through, and just read it for yourself, and then also just whatever questions you have in mind, and it might just be just things that are on your mind, and they might be good questions, the big questions. I don't know. It just depends on where you're at in your walk. Like I say, it's going to be an encouragement video. This year I do a couple of questions I got. A lot of it's just following up on stuff I've already had in my mind and stuff I've already been researching. Just going to go further. But a couple things that I'm going to look into this year would be one, the cross, and two, the Trinity. The cross, not the fact that Jesus died on the cross, not the message of the cross, the cross itself. This is going to be mostly extra biblical research, and then taking that to the Bible. I don't know. This came about mostly. Well, no, not necessarily mostly. I've been questioning the cross ever since I first been going to church. A couple points in times I've got to thinking, man, I don't know that we should have crosses. Then I just decided, okay, whatever, let's just have blind faith about it. I think now it's time to really search. I was watching a video a couple days ago of a guy back in the 90s. I guess he died in the 90s. The name Martin. I could maybe try to find the link to that video and put it in the comments. But what he was doing, he was teaching against false teachers, false pastors, these New Age churches that we have now. He was preaching against it then. Most of what he was talking about was mostly the truth. But one thing he was talking about was the fact that a lot of New Age churches was taking their crosses down inside and outside the building and doing away with them. And maybe I'm on the wrong video. It might have been a different person I was watching on this. But it got me to thinking. I'm like, maybe it's time for me to really look into this deal. Just because from before I was alive, that the fact that there was crosses all through churches, inside and out, numerous of them, just because everybody says they're okay, does that mean they're okay? You know, I don't know. That's just something I want to find out for myself. And don't mean you have to, okay? That's something I'm going to do for myself. The other one that I'm going to look at is the Trinity. Again, a lot of it's going to be extra biblical research. A lot of it's going to be searching doctrine, okay? Because I'm not looking at, is there a Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? Of course there is. Okay? Of course there's the Father, of course there's the Son, and of course there's the Holy Spirit. But Trinity is actually written in the doctrine. And that's just something I want to search through for myself. And just see whether there's a false doctrine there or not. You know, I'm not sure. I just know that a lot of people say there's false doctrine, and I've seen some different teachings. You know, I decided to possibly go into this thing. Don't mean you have to do that. But when I was talking to my wife, you know, like I said, she's like, hey, you know, telling people their pastors are preaching wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, for one, it's the first of the year. You know, I just encourage everybody to get in their Bibles, read it. Read it for what it is. It's a book with 66 books in it. We should read it for that all the way through. We shouldn't dismiss this or that just because it's old, or just because it don't agree with what we are getting taught. Okay? I just encourage you to examine and just find ideas and thoughts and questions and take it through the book. And that's just really the extent of it. Okay? I'm not necessarily just wanting to say, point my finger over here, point my finger over there. It's just something I've done. I mean, every year at the first, I've tried to restart over. Like I say, last year I failed. This year I want to make it through it. And it might take me some encouragement. You know? It might take other people encouragement to get me through it this year. I don't know. But, you know, through prayer and through the Holy Spirit, I hope and I pray that I have the strength and endurance and the time and just whatnot, this and that, to make it through. To do the extra biblical research. To read the non-canon old books. Different things. Just trying to give it a second and see if there's, you know, anything else that I want to state here. I know the first part of the video was about 10 minutes. I'm at a little over 8 minutes now. And I don't want to make this too long. If anybody is understanding what I'm saying, does want me to do some more videos in the future, I've really been wanting to do them for a long time. But if you can see that I'm having trouble, that's really why I haven't done them. Because while I'm going through this and doing all this stuff, it's like I really want to share some stuff, you know, and I really want to get some stuff interactive going on, you know, not only share it, but have input, feedback, extra questions added to it. It's just not being really set up for it. It's the problem. But let me just go ahead and tell you about this, okay? So last year, December, it was 2016 to December. And it was like the first day of December. And I came up on Revelation, and I was finishing up my second New Testament reading for the year. And I got to think about it. I'm like, well, I've always wanted to study this book. And just really study it. So I decided I'm going to read it, you know, every single day, all month. And what I ended up doing was I ended up turning through it about once every 2 days. From the first day of the month to the last day of the month. About halfway through the month, I ended up memorizing the first paragraph of the book of Revelation, basically because it explains what it is, who it goes to, why, and just covers all the basics there. And I always wanted that in my head. That way it's there the whole way through it. Then when the beginning of the new year came around, I stayed in the book. I constantly read it, and I just started memorizing it. I ended up memorizing basically the first 3 chapters. I already had the 4th memorized by then. Did most of the 12 and 13. Now, a lot of this I got to go back through and finish. But then what ended up happening is when I started over the book at the beginning of the year, I'm still reading Revelation. I done read it and started studying it for a month, okay? And, you know, that's where a lot of these questions really started coming into full gear. You know, I'm putting the time and the effort into the places that take a lot of reading, a lot of studying just to understand, and then taking that back through the book. And you know, this is just what I want to encourage everybody to do. Okay, it's just no, I don't even know what else to say. So I guess I'll end up there. You know, I hope and I pray, if you read this, that, you know, you do read some Bible. I pray that you make it through and through. And I pray that you, God places some questions on your heart that you want answered. He will give you the questions, place them on your heart, and He'll lead you through it and find the answers for you. And with His good grace, this video will end up on Facebook one way or another. I don't think Facebook wants it on the video on their page, but it's going to happen. So, thank you for watching.